Ladies and gentlemen, this is an update on the stock market crash that happened on June 13th. And this is just an update on what's going on with the market. I'm going to go ahead and play this audio for you.
Higher today, following a plunge that sent the Dow into its lowest point since January 2021 as inflation and rising interest rates spark worries of a recession. Every stock in the S&P 500 went into the red, and some analysts say the market has lost over $10 trillion in value since the beginning of the year. Even crypto tanked amid the mess. Business Insider's Matthew Fox joins us now to make sense of what happened and what we can expect to see in the future. Welcome, Matthew. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Bree. Hey, Liz. Thanks for having me.
So, Matthew, a lot of blame is being thrown around. There are obviously people on the right who are attributing everything that happens on Joe Biden's watch to Joe Biden, perhaps rightly or wrongly. There are people who are taking the longer view, saying that many of the things that happen in the economy aren't within the direct control of the current administration. To what do you attribute the recent stock failures?
I think a lot of the recent decline is it's all about Friday's CPI inflation report. So a lot of investors and analysts were expecting that report on Friday to show finally a deceleration in rising prices, and we didn't get that. Instead, we got signs that inflation is still hot, and it could still continue on longer. So we're in a weird dynamic where now the Fed really has to combat that rising inflation with higher interest rates. And we got a pretty big signal yesterday that they're going to raise interest rates by 75 basis points tomorrow instead of the expected 50. So I think that's what really sent the market into a tailspin yesterday.
There's been a really interesting narrative that sort of coursed through a lot of parts of the left, and we actually saw the New York Times morning newsletter today do a really good job of sort of debunking some of this. But the narrative is basically that, we're seeing extremely high, record high corporate profits, and really this is an example of price gouging or of big corporations raising their prices significantly, and that's why Americans are really feeling the burn in their pocketbooks. What do you make of this, and do you have any words for people who sort of spread that type of theory?
When input prices rise, there usually is some room for corporations to eke out a little bit more profit by, if inputs rise 2%, usually they could get away with a 2.5%, 3% price increase. I think a lot of the supply chains have been completely exacerbated during the pandemic, during 2021, spilling over into 2022. So personally, I think it's probably a little disingenuous to blame this all on corporations and price gouging. I mean, this is all set by supply and demand at the end of the day. It's economics 101. I'm sure there are some instances where some companies are taking more advantage of consumers than others, but to cast such a wide blanket with that type of rationale probably doesn't hold water when you dig a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah, Matthew, I think the reality is that most people would agree with you. Even people who are pointing to price gouging certainly aren't arguing that it's all price gouging. That kind of maximalist argument, I think, can obscure the reality that, to your point, obviously corporations frequently, and in this case, are taking advantage of, the supply chain issues to.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we know on the 13th there was a market crash. And so today, the 14th, I'm just going to give you a little update on what happened. The market continued to drop. Okay, so it did not get better. As you can see, this is the whole S&P index, and you can see the whole thing is in the red. I mean, this is crazy to even see this. So the US indexes had a mixed Tuesday. So the S&P still slid into the bear market on fears of a red hot inflation that will prompt more aggressive rates from the Federal Reserve. So they're talking about interest rates. So today on Tuesday, the S&P fell about 0.4%, while the Dow Jones went down 0.5%, and NASDAQ was slightly up 0.2%. Cryptocurrencies continue to fall even further. Bitcoin now below 21,000. So, of course, all eyes this week are on the Federal Reserve interest rate, and they are expecting a 0.7% point increase from the Federal Reserve. So it's not good. And ladies and gentlemen, they are worried, and they should be worried. You got this happening in an economy that never fully bounced back from 2020. So everybody is not working at 2019 levels. The inflation is hurting a lot of people, and they're admitting corporations are out here price gouging. I think whenever you have a bad economy due to something that was well beyond your control, I don't think there should be, all these companies out here taking advantage of that, but this is what America is made of greed. It would be a different world if it wasn't like that, but it is. And you can expect more bad news coming out. Today really wasn't any better. Um, so it is painful for people that had money invested out here. And also, people invested in the crypto market also felt the pain of the drop that happened. And I'm actually going to be getting a little more into that tomorrow when I go over the Jubilee years. But, ladies and gentlemen, please tell me what you think. It just looks pretty bleak ahead financially for America. I mean, they can tweak interest rates and all that, but at the end of the day, is this really going to save America? No, no. You know, it's been a tough few years. And the worst part is, because of the greed, we're all suffering through this whole thing. Whether you feel attached to America or not, we we still got to spend money here. And if you got a car, you still have to get gas, and you still have to buy the inflated food. So it always have an impact on you, whether you like it or not. But y'all, please tell me what you think. I know tomorrow may not be any better than the last 2 days, but we shall see. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.